Previously on Unranked.
We celebrated Brooks' birthday last week, so I wasn't
boy.
here. Had soup dumplings.
What'd you do?
Soup dumplings.
You did soup dumplings?
Yeah. We went
Could,
to-
could you literally be more high than you are right now?
What? Ah, man. Yeah, looking back on that, that was a really, really stoned moment.
Rare form.
Oh, man. That was good.
We're on point tonight. We got our game faces on. It is myself, Christian Humes, here for episode 467, along with the greatest of the British Toms, the great Brit Tom Caswell.
Hello. Good to be here. Good to be with everyone.
The tuna had to swim upstream tonight to deal with his spawn. His child is not feeling well.
What's a baby fish? Is there a word for it? Like, let's see.
I don't know.
Let's see. Let's
A
find out.
fishling.
Fishling, yeah, that's good. Baby
I mean,
fish.
His spawn is correct though.
Sure, no, yeah. I just was curious.
So yeah.
Alevin fingerling.
Fingerling.
A fry. A baby fish is called a fry or a fingerling.
No way.
Although
Wow.
that's, oh no, that's not. Never mind. I was like, oh, is that Google AI overview? But it wasn't. Looked like it was for a second.
Yeah, because if it is, then you probably shouldn't trust it. Hello. Here we are. We have quite a big video game announcement day, which is good because I think whenever it's a last minute Tuesday, you want something to drive the conversation. Honestly, there were so many awesome games showing off and announced today. Some of which we're just we got more information on, but quite a few that I was unaware of if they hadn't been announced. So yeah, we're gonna definitely get into game news, talk about the Sony PlayStation State of Play, but why don't we start where we usually do, Tom? It is the 467th episode of the podcast, which means we're talking about the 467th Pokemon.
Oh my lord.
Today we're gonna be talking about Magmortar, the evolution of Magmar. Now, I was a Magmar guy. Tom,
Yep.
were you like Tuna? Were you more of an Electabuzz?
No, I was a Magmar guy.
Oh, you were even though you were a Charizard man, you were also a Magmar guy.
Oh, big time.
Would you be like, I'm just gonna be like fire all the way through
it's
on
just
my
OP.
party?
I mean, it's just OP. Like it just feels like, because
Yeah.
again, I wasn't necessarily concerned with typing. Playing Pokemon back in the day, I had the basic typing down, but I definitely didn't know what flying was good against and all this stuff. And so, like, just fire just seemed like fire will take care of it all. It'll do even against the rock. You can fucking push your way through.
Sure.
So no, I liked Magmar a lot. Magmar were Electabuzz and Magmar in both games, or it was one and the other?
I think it was one or the other. I believe. I could be wrong. Just it's been so long now that I could be wrong. You could only get one or the other. You couldn't get both. But I feel like they seem like the kind of Pokemon that you're getting one or the other, you know?
Mm-hmm. This is, in my opinion,
I'll look it up while you're talking about it.
In my opinion, this is not only a good, like, I like this. This is the best of all of this run of.
It was a trading only Pokemon.
Gotcha. There you go. Yep. So this is the best of all of these new evolutions, I think, and is an actually smart. For the most part, it's not perfect. I still think it's Digimonified a bit, but other than that, I think this is actually a great evolution for Magmar.
It's cool. It's cool. It feels like it takes on a totally new design, which is I see what you mean. Digimonified it because it doesn't necessarily feel like we're going from the last one into this. If you ask me what an evolution would be, but I also do not hate it. Magmar was like a fan favorite of mine. That is like one of
Sure.
my like such a cool fucking God. The anime episode where Ash fights the fire gym leader in the first gen, and Tom, it takes place inside a volcano,
Blaze.
and it's
Yeah.
Charizard versus Magmar, and they go fucking into the lot. Oh, and Charizard does
Fire's
like
OP,
seismic
man.
toss. Ooh,
Fire's OP.
so cool, so
Yo,
cool.
dude, when Charizard first does seismic toss in the anime at some point, when he learns that move, that was like a whole
Yeah.
episode. I'll never forget that moment.
It's good
Never
shit.
forget that moment.
It's good shit. It's really good shit. Magmortar really kind of it was very, very duck coded, the previous Pokemon.
Yes.
Now it's almost clown-esque, right?
Yeah, it's definitely
Almost
not. It's like
clown-esque.
it's like it's
Been
removed the
Joker-fied.
beak. Like the beak has become, yeah.
It looks if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z, it looks like the third stage of Cell before he becomes Perfect Cell, with the way his mouth is shaped, and he's just like swollen and big. And the way his like arm hands open up too is very similar to the way Cell's tail would open up to like suck people in. Except on this one, he is going to his namesake, a mortar. He will blast. He'll give you a big old fire blast out of those big old arm cannons.
He will. Which is like, how does that work? You know, biologically, but whatever.
His belly is like a big cannonball. His abdomen is
Yeah.
just like one big old cannonball. Tell me about its name, Tom.
So Magmortar may be a combination of magma and mortar, an artillery weapon. Boo burn, which I guess is its Japanese, may be a combination of booby and burn. Like I guess booby trap would be,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know. It is funny because I was looking at Magmar again, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
Magmar's-
it's got a pair of tits on its head.
Yes. Yes, it does.
So maybe they're referring to those boobies.
Or it's got a real ass face.
Oh, I see. Yeah. That could also be the case. So there you go. Other bits of trivia. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have.
And Magmortar is not as, it's a late ad, right? Well, now it's not late. Now it's halfway through the series. It's halfway through the franchise, but
Shit,
it came a
this is
lot
halfway
later.
through. That's crazy.
Well, actually, not even yet, right? Next gen is halfway through, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be. We just crossed 1,000, so
Yeah. And
So
we've
it'll
had
be-
9 gens,
we're
so
close.
this is
We're close. We're not
Yeah, we
far
are
from
close.
halfway through, which is wild. But yeah. Trivia is lackluster on this one. You got a Pokedex?
You know I do. Legends Arceus says, use of a strange item caused this Pokemon to evolve. Fireballs launched from the ends of its tube-like arms are hot enough to melt an iron pot in an instant. Let's place this bad boy.
Looking at my notes.
I do want to say, terrible shiny.
Let me look. Sprites. Oh yeah, the pink. Yeah.
Terrible.
All
right, well, where was
Electric
Electivire? Electivire was at 35.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going above that. I think this is going high.
Oh, the numbers just got fucked. That happens, though.
I think it's going above Weevil. I put it right under Luxio at 20.
I'm good with that. Right above Gabite?
Above
right.
Weevil. Yeah, between Luxio and Weevil.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's good.
Boom. Number
20.
There it is.
20 out of
81.
81. Gotcha. Oh yeah, the numbers do get fucked up. That's weird.
Yeah, but if you leave the note and go back in, they like self-correct.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what that is. Okay. Well, there we go. That's Pokemon. of the day.
of the day of the week.
Tomas,
Mm.
what's good? What's been happening?
So it's really funny, Chris, because we're recording this on a Wednesday. If you're listening now, it's Wednesday.
Yes.
And we usually record on Thursdays, and I
Yes.
requested that we move it just because Thursday of a Marvel release tradition, I go see it opening night. So we did move it, but Monday night, very late, my friend Eric was like, I have a +1 to a screener first thing in the morning to go see Captain America. Do you want to come? And I was like, you know what? I do. Cause like he and I have like big, long time comic
Sure.
book fan friends. So I went yesterday. So I saw it yesterday. And still going to go with the Ball and Chain tomorrow. But saw Captain America Brave New World, and this movie is exactly the movie you're expecting. It is a totally fine Marvel film. I think that it benefits from a great cast. I think Anthony Mackie I think the whole cast is really charismatic. Harrison Ford is, in my opinion, the highlight of the film. In fact, I
Well,
think
is that a surprise?
it's not a surprise, but he's in it so much, and and it is almost as much his movie as it is Sam's movie.
Good.
Yeah, so that is good. That is good.
Look,
I did,
I'm not going to hate on the actor Anthony Mackie, but his character has never been a huge draw for me.
sure.
And I just think that's a result of him having to be second banana. And then their
Yeah.
show had to be gutted and
Was a
changed
mess, yeah.
during pandemic. And so then that was not great. So like he just doesn't,
we
that
kind of
character doesn't
stumbled,
have the draw it should. Not because of the actor, but just because of all of the things. So like I've been excited for this movie for Harrison Ford mostly.
Well, he delivers. He delivers, and I think it's really strong. And I honestly think that if it had just been a Red Hulk Harrison Ford film, and we cut out basically half of the storylines that are in this film, because I do think the movie is a mess. It really is just like picking up pieces from Eternals and Hulk and like smashing them together a little bit, and very, very trite dialogue to get from one thing to the next. The first 20 minutes is so exposition heavy, just like catching you up. And it's very specific thing of like the first line in the movie is Harrison Ford being like, did Betty call? My daughter, saying to like his assistant, just to clarify, like he has a daughter named Betty. And the first 20 minutes of the movie does a lot of that. But yeah, so the cast is great. Harrison Ford is a highlight. I think the action for the most part is really solid. There's some really cool scenes in there. But yeah, the script is poor. Its commentary, its social commentary is really lackluster. Again, I think another reason that it would have maybe benefited from just being a Red Hulk movie is the fact that this is Anthony Mackie's first outing in a franchise as Black Captain America. They try and do stuff, but like it really like misses the mark. Even more so than I think at times Falcon and Winter Soldier had its moments with that. There was some really good moments with that in that show, but it misses the mark in the show as well. And this, I think, misses it even more. So yeah, it is. I think if you're going in with mid expectations, this is gonna match those.
Look,
also,
as long as the movies are fine, if it's fun, that's fine. But like, I feel like there's two. This is the one of the last two pieces of detritus of what I feel this phase of Marvel has been post. I mean, it is partially, it's for several reasons, right? It's because everything fell apart with Kang. It's because a lot of the writing fell apart because of the fucking like executive orders for like putting out all like, you know, from the board of Disney. Like,
yeah.
and there's so many things that went wrong from like the creative to executives to like the world that fucked with this, on top of trying to do so much that like visually they've also suffered, that I'm just like, let's get all of this crap gone. Thunderbolts is the last one, and then it's like Fantastic Four is what's going to make or break the future of this franchise.
That's the only movie that matters at this point. We can just tread water until then. That one,
which, by the way,
that one needs to be a return to form.
Agatha was fantastic.
Yeah,
right?
It was great.
It's like there are way too many mid and way too many of the worst things Marvel's ever put out in this, like, last 5 years.
Yeah. Thunderbolts is the end of phase 5. Like, we've gone through phase 5, 4, and 5 once Thunderbolts comes out.
Good. But like, let's not forget, like, people want to talk like about like how it's all bad. It's like Loki season 1 and 2, WandaVision season.
And again, it never gets. I mean, the worst Marvel movie in my opinion is Quantumania, which is a truly bad film.
Honestly, I would say Thor is worse.
Which one, the original or
the new
World?
One, the new Thor? 4.
Oh yeah,
I think Thor 4 is worse than Quantumania.
Really, I don't know if it's worse, but it's low.
It is.
It's low.
It's
for
not
me for sure.
It's not visually worse than Quantumania, but I think overall it's worse.
I thought
I at least laughed during Quantumania.
That's interesting because I felt that way about Thor, where I was like, at least I laughed. Like I thought, but Quantumania, I was like halfway through it, I was like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
both bad movies. Both bad movies.
Both bad movies. But I would say that like there's honestly very few things, like even like I had fun with Marvels. The Eternals is like I like there's a lot about Eternals I like. And I was thinking about Eternals because they bring back the whole celestial plot line, the fucking celestial in the ocean as a part of this film. I was thinking back to the Eternals and I was like, wow, like Eternal, like people really gave that movie, I think, not a fair shake, especially in light of something like
I thought it was fine. I thought it was totally fine.
It's a stronger movie than this. But
I'm
anyway.
Sure.
Anyway,
I don't think it was bad. I just thought it was like, it was fine. It was good. Like I enjoyed it.
But
where's Shang-Chi? What has happened? How did they put out a movie that I feel like everyone liked? I feel like that was am I wrong? Wasn't that a good movie?
Yeah, it
people
was.
Liked?
Well, he's doing Spider-Man now.
What do you mean?
Director.
Who cares? Get someone else.
No, because he is also attached to do another Shang-Chi. They're both in development, just at different stages.
It's crazy that there hasn't been another one yet, and it's not filming already. Like, that's nuts. Because that was a slam dunk. That was one of the few slam dunks they've had.
Yeah, it was one of the few, especially on the movie side. Yeah, I mean, look, this is it's a moving thing. Think about, we got Doctor Strange 2. 6 years after the first one. So these things, they just, the more they add stuff, the more these sequels get pushed back. I mean, we gone to the days of 3 Iron Man movies happening by the beginning of phase 2, right? Like that's Iron Man 3 kicked off phase 2. So those days are long behind us. Even something like Spider-Man, which they were like, we have to make these contractually every 2 years to hold on to the fucking IP. That's the whole reason.
Is it 2 or I think it might be like 3 or something like that. There's some.
It was meant, but I mean, we're not gonna, whatever it is, they're gonna miss it this time. And I'm sure that they obviously renegotiated the deal or what have you. But
to keep him out of the fucking Sonyverse, basically.
Oh my,
that's definitely what it was, right? It was absolutely like, well, we're gonna just fucking put him in Venom, and they're like, please God, no, you cannot put him in Madam Web. You can have 3 more years till we figure this out.
Right.
You cannot put him in Madam Web.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. Everyone knows that a Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland and Zendaya is gonna make everyone a ton of money, so they're not gonna.
He's gonna appear in Daredevil, I think was a rumor.
I mean, he could.
Be cool.
He could. I mean, the rumor going into No Way Home was Daredevil was going to appear in that.
Which he did.
He obviously did, which was really fucking cool. Again, No Way Home, like.
Oh, great movie.
I have my problems with it, but like honestly, like
Great movie.
it really is a good film. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm sure everyone listening to this is honestly feeling the same way about this movie going into it. I don't think anyone is like, oh my god, I don't think anyone listening has high expectations for Brave New World.
No.
So hopefully no one will be like disappointed.
I
But
am
yeah,
excited to see is Isaiah Thomas his character name?
Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah because
He is yeah.
that actor plays a character named Marcus Dixon on
Mhm.
Alias, and he's
Mm.
Jennifer Garner's like co-spy, and
He is
he's awesome. He's
he
so
is
awesome.
he is great in this,
Oh, great.
and yeah, he is fantastic in this. And the moments between him and Mackie where they really try and establish like their friendship and their relationship as like the emotional backbone of this movie for Mackie's character, and then like Hulk has his own, you know, Harrison Ford's character has his own kind of like emotional thing that he's dealing with, and they initially like set it up really really well. I felt like okay, good, like I'm kind of, but it once he starts doing his Captain America thing, it kind of loses the plot a bit. Something I wanted to say as well as I think the leader, they wasted the character here. I think it's an unfortunately lackluster take, and it's a shame because the guy that plays him, I forget his name. It's like he's got like a three name.
Yeah, but
Not
I know
Billy
you're.
Bob Thornton.
It's just the guy from the original one, right?
Yeah, the guy from Incredible Hulk from 2008, because this is a sequel to that movie, ostensibly.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson, there you go. He's great, and like you know, he's a good,
Yeah,
fantastic actor.
he
And
seems like he would be on The Big Bang Theory.
I'm sure he might have been on an episode. But yeah,
Now I want to Google that.
it's a really middling take, I think, there as well. So that disappointed. That was something that I thought was going to be a highlight, I think, or you know, an element I really like. 'Cause I like that character a lot. I think it's a cool concept, and it just kind of yeah. Everything here is at the mercy of like a script written by 5 people and then like rewritten after after they had already shot a bunch of stuff. Like Giancarlo Esposito's character, all reshoots. Like they did all that stuff like way after they'd already shot the film, and you can really tell. So yeah, so there's that. But anyway,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
excited to see it tomorrow again. I think when it gets by before I'm bored, it's done.
Great.
So there
How
you go.
long is it?
Hour 40.
Oh,
no. No, I think it's sorry, I think it is 2 or like an hour
Okay.
50 or something. It's the
All right.
shortest Captain America yet.
Great.
So, there you go.
Great. I'm into that. Man, I wish it was an hour 40. I love a short movie. love a movie close to 90 minutes. Love a 90-minute film. It's great. It's awesome when you get them, you know?
maybe
Movies-
maybe Toby Grace at not Toby Grace.
Maguire.
I'm talking about Topher, sorry.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire.
Topher Grace
No,
is the
not
one that does all the
right.
cuts?
Topher Grace, Tobey.
Right.
Right. He played Venom.
Right. He played Venom. He also does all those cuts of like he cut The Hobbit into a film. He cut
Yeah.
the prequel
Yes.
to it. I want Topher Grace, if you're listening, cut a Red Hulk version of this movie. That is just.
I
the
mean,
Hulk
if it's
stuff.
close to, I mean, cutting 20 minutes is like whatever, you know. Tom, the guy you want to know about now is Ken Patterson, KP Films, the guy that has cut quite a few of the Star Wars shows into movies, which they should have been in the first place. And he does this with a lot of stuff. Tom, they're so fucking good. They're the Obi-Wan show as a movie.
Oh my god!
I watched it.
Really
Tom,
good.
I watched it. I'm never gonna rewatch the show. I saved I saved the movie of it. I have it on my computer. It's like 12 gigs. Dude. And he also did it in like full, he has all the different file formats. So it's 4K, it's HDR, Dolby. Like it has all of the right formats and
That's
everything.
awesome.
It's really good. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something. It's like Leia getting abducted. Is like literally she goes out into the forest and then the guy just grabs her. That's it. It's just like that. There's no chase scene. The whole like all the like you get halfway into that movie and it's like Vader versus Obi-Wan like already. You know, it's like instead of 5 episodes,
Yeah,
instead of they cut like 5 hours into like an hour and 15.
I love
It's
them.
it's really good. And his Ahsoka cut was also great. Ken Patterson films, people should check it out. It's fucking really good. I bet you
Don't sue us, Disney.
I bet you this Star Wars show that they just had, which I thought was like really fun.
Skeleton Crew.
I think that would have been a fucking instant classic if that was a movie. I think that would have been a hit. I think that would have been. Did you watch it?
No, I saw the first episode. We're behind on everything, so we're slowly making. We're about to finish What If.
It sets. It gets great.
Castlevania is
Gets
about to be
great.
finished.
Should have been one movie. If it was a movie, it would have done numbers, especially at holiday times. It would have been. I mean, it's Goonies in space. It's fucking Treasure Planet. It's cool, but it should have been a movie. It did not need to be, 4.5 hours of TV. It could have just been a 2-hour movie. Oh well. I think they've learned. They just have all these things that they still had in the cooker. Too many things in the oven from years of mistakes that they learned too late that are still coming out. But hopefully that's the end of it now and we'll get back to quality. And if not, then they're just going to have to stop making stuff for a while because they're going to start to become flops. They're going to start to not make money and then they're going to have to stop and figure it out. But hopefully that's not what happens because that would be lame. It's better if they continue to make a lot of great stuff.
I have a positive outlook, and I hope it really is just like we get Fantastic Four, we get the Avengers films, and then we have that multiversal reset, and then
we have the X-Men coming.
We start it all again with X-Men, and we just do it at the pace of
the
what
originals
they were doing before. Yeah.
2 movies a year.
A movie a year,
Tops.
maybe 2.
Yeah. There's no reason not. Like, I think you can do 2 a year, right? Or you could do a show and a movie a year. One or like, but no more than 2 projects a year is what it should be.
Yeah.
None of this 2 to 3 movies a year and 2 TV shows. Like that is
like
crazy.
The fact that in like 2 months the Thunderbolts is coming out and then 2 months after that it's Fantastic Four. Like I understand that if they had an opportunity, they probably space this out a bit more, but obviously like it's way more complicated than that. It's just crazy how perfectly those first 3 phases seem to go. I mean, there's also middling quality there as well, but it wasn't this massive stumble. And again, it was like 5 different factors happening, converging all at the exact same time that led to this mess. But I don't know. I think even if none of that had happened, it would be interesting. I wonder what a phase 4, phase 5 looks like without Disney Plus element, without COVID happening.
I think really different, but who knows?
Probably
we'll never know.
Different.
We'll never know what that timeline was.
We got to go in that. We got to go in that. I got to find that variant.
I had dental surgery this week, Tom.
That's right. Yes, I'm very aware. I'm painfully
What was worse,
aware.
the pictures that I sent you of my dental surgery or the eye surgery that I had?
The dental surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like I can't feel my eyes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like the idea of someone cutting it open, like I don't know, that was I mean, it wasn't great. But teeth, like I'm painfully aware of like what the dentist feels like and like, you know what I mean? And like and so the pictures you sent, you basically had what, like a tooth removed and then a screw shoved in?
Well, no, I had those teeth extracted years ago. I've just had a gap there.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But you can only tell from the side. You can't like see from but see how like there should be teeth right here.
Okay. I can't. Oh, yeah.
But you can't really tell from the front.
Yeah.
It was harder to tell from the front before because those two teeth, the ones that are right in front of the gap, had drifted back. So that's why I had to get Invisalign because I wanted to go. So I was supposed to get this done right like at the beginning of COVID, and then COVID happens and I couldn't get it done. And then my teeth, like I had the extraction done, and then I had to wait for the implants. I had to wait for it to heal, and then my teeth just moved during COVID. And then it was like, oh well, now I have to get either braces and then I just kept putting it off. And then finally I went, and they were like, well, yeah, like you have to move your teeth now, so there's space. So I did Invisalign. So now I just finished my Invisalign, so I don't have it. So now I have nice straight teeth for the first time ever, which is nice. But that wasn't. I only did it because I had to be able to get the implants.
Right.
So to get the implants, they have to have something like for the fake teeth to attach to. So what they do is they put a thread, like imagine the female end of a screw, right? So that there's something for a screw to screw into, because a fake tooth basically has a screw on the other end of it. So putting the actual fake tooth part in doesn't require any surgery. It's the thing that the fake tooth will attach to that requires surgery. So this is actually kind of cool. And you may be a little squeamish about this. However, I do want to explain it to you because it's fucking wild what they have to do.
I mean, also prepare the audience.
Yeah. But it is pretty wild what they have to do. Because I have to wait 3 to 6 months before they will actually put the fake tooth on it now. And during that time, I have to avoid crunchy food, which sucks.
Right.
But up until like I get the stitches out and it's like fully at least healed over, I have to have like just soft food. And I've been eating just like I'm going to tell you what, it sucks. Mostly what I've been eating. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But what they have to do is like, if you think about it, like there's a lot of, your teeth have to put up with a lot of movement and pressure and stuff, right? So you can't have something loose. So it has to like be able to attach to your jaw. So they need to like, graft it to the bone. So they do a bone graft. So there's two things that happen. So obviously like they, cut your gums open into like they can get to the jawbone, and then they drill a hole so the thread can attach to it. But here's the really cool thing. They use donor bone. So they have ground up donor bone, right?
Donor bone.
And it's like a powder, and they graft that onto the thread and put it in, and basically as it heals, that will just fuse with my actual bone and become my bone. So I have like a dead person's bone in my jaw, which is cool. Bone. And then here's the fucking really crazy thing they do, because it's easy for these like oral surgery is apparently like pretty like involved, and like you can get a lot of really bad infections and stuff.
I'm sure.
So because for me it's especially difficult to eat, because they're both like the two main teeth that you fucking those. Chew.
Yeah, you're
and
chomping
it's on
with
both
those.
sides, and it's on both sides. So it's like it's really difficult for me to eat. Oh, Tom, it's a fucking nightmare to eat food right now. I hate it so much. I'm not trying to lose weight anymore, but I'm inadvertently going to, because I can't eat fucking anything. They took like 6 vials of blood at the beginning of the surgery, and they put it in a centrifuge.
Oh, just
so that they get a high concentration of my platelets.
Oh.
And they basically pre-build like coagulated blood, so that when they do it, they then put that back in and surround it. So it's like within an hour, when they sew it back up, it's already like clotted. They basically start pre-clotting my blood and then put it back in me. It's wild what they do. It's pretty cool though. It was real painful. But they gave me really strong painkillers, which I'm just taking at night now.
Here's what I'm eating for all this, or no?
Yeah, they just Novocaine shot. Honestly, the only thing that hurt was the shot, and then obviously afterwards. The first whole day, I was just like the worst fucking headache, and I was exhausted from the pain. Like the pain was so bad. Even with the painkillers, after like a couple hours, like before I could take more painkillers, that was bad. The first 24 hours sucked. And it was so like the swelling's almost gone down, but you can still see like here, it's like puffy, like this, it's puffed up. Like you can see the
Sure,
line.
yeah.
But this was like really puffy for the last few days. Um, but yeah, the thing that hurt was the Novocaine shot because it's like really deep. Like it goes like up into like the top of your jaw. But the worst shot, Tom, and this was like one of the worst feelings I've ever felt in my life. Definitely one of the most excruciating feelings I've ever felt is the one they did in the roof of my mouth. They just do this huge needle up into the roof of your mouth and it goes deep and you like feel it in your
Oh,
sinuses. Like
no.
I felt like burning in my brain. It was
This is awful.
yeah, but it only lasted for about 5 seconds, but it was 5 of the most painful seconds I've ever
Ugh.
felt in my life. I would put it up there with like the 2 times that I like threw my back out and I like couldn't move. Like it was like a full body pain like that. So yeah, so I basically for mornings I'm now having pancakes. Been having
Okay.
pancakes, but I can't like actually like eating like actual fruit is still like a little too difficult. So I'm just putting fucking like jam, like not jam, but what is the other one that's like compote
Jelly.
or
Oh,
something?
like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like yeah, a
It's no
preservative or
sugar
something.
added. It's preservative. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not sugar. It's just, so I'm putting blueberries and I got protein pan because because I also don't want to just be like sick, right? Because the first day I just had like a shake and a smoothie and I just like, ugh, I need. So then I'm having smoothies at lunch. I'm getting smoothies from like Whole Foods or wherever. Putting like chia seeds or hemp seeds in them, so you got like fiber. So I'm not. And then at dinner time, I'm having my protein shakes that I've been eating. 'Cause, I'm trying to get fit now. So I'm having these Fairlife protein shakes. They have like 43 grams of protein. So I have one of those I have half of it in the morning with my pancakes, and then I have the other half at dinner. I also put in a third of a pint of Ben and Jerry's. I put in
very nice.
2/3 of a cup.
The balloons. Why?
I don't know why this is happening. Uh, I put in 2/3 of a cup of granola. I started using cinnamon granola, fucking delicious. And then more chia seeds. So that way I have like fiber. But I have a lot of protein and fiber in that fucking ice cream milkshake. So like it hasn't made me feel sick yet, which is good. But that's all I've been eating, and I'm starting to feel like like starving because I want to eat real food, and I can't. I did today manage to eat some sushi, but I was only able to eat like just, like the sashimi part, like the actual just like sushi, like because the rice I tried to eat and it's just like sticking to my teeth, and I can't
Mhm.
actually. Then I have to like very delicately like pull it off of my stitches that are in my mouth, which I can just like
Ugh.
feel the stitches. So it's not great. So that's been my week.
No, that's not great. That's not great.
Let's
Don't
talk about
like
some
that.
games we've been playing. We are a video game podcast now.
We are a game
I
of
played
podcast.
Eternal Strands this week. I was really enjoying it. And then
Mm.
something was introduced into the game that made me decide I'm going to stop playing this. Avowed's coming out. I don't need to get any deeper into this game. Can you guess what game mechanic is in that game that I almost instantly decided to stop playing because of it? And then I was like,
Crafting.
it's crafting. Yep.
Yeah.
Why is this game have crafting? This
Yeah.
game doesn't has no reason to have crafting.
Hmm.
It's not. It shouldn't be a prerequisite for modern games to have a craft. If anything, crafting it should be a prerequisite to have crafting as like a mechanical device in your game. If you're actually going to have systems built around that, if it's just for the very nature of like, oh, we need your character to have something to do till we get up to the boss battles, which are the part that you actually like enjoy in this game, then you're doing it wrong. And you should have just made this a boss battling game. You should have just had me. This should have been more like Shadow of the Colossus. Like just have me go
Hmm.
and fight bosses. Don't have me do any of this other nonsense. It really took the wind out of the game. Like I loved that first mission. I texted you when I first started the game because I was like, fucking in. I'm fucking in. The animations were playing. I love the animation, the cartoons that they did for the cutscenes. I was like, the first two powers you get where you have this like ice beam that like you spray it and it shoots and it like freezes, and you could build like fucking ice bridges, and you could like freeze your enemies and just surround them and like glaciers of ice and shit. That's awesome. Having like telekinesis, it's almost like the God Hand from Zelda, except you can actually like throw people force like with it. That was fucking great. You got a bow and arrow, you got a sword, everything you want. Everything you want right at the jump. You have great tools, and you know there's at least 4 more powers coming. So I'm like, this is a cool fucking game. I'm down to play it. Then they introduced crafting, and not just crafting, but a hub world that feels like it just feels very shallow in the way the Destiny one always felt to me too, where I'm like, now I have to walk over here to talk to this person. Now I have to walk over there to talk. Like, I just want to play the game. The rest of the game's pretty linear. It's not really like this big open,
Yeah.
like, why are you putting this stuff? So if you have Game Pass and you want like it feels very like mid-tier game. I think it's cool, but if you have an aversion to systems that I think are there just to obfuscate the amount of time that this game has, I think this game actually has a lot less content than it's perceived to have, because it's just there to take up your time and extend the length of the game, which is something that I really hate modern video games do.
Yeah.
Then you're probably not going to like it. You're going to bounce off of it like me. I think this is a B game that could have been an A if you had cut all that stuff out.
Yeah, I think a lot of the reviews shared similar sentiments of it not having a clear enough identity, and just like having way too many mechanics. Honestly, I downloaded and I booted it up, but the moment I realized that, like, because it's not like the tightest game to control, and part of the problem is like your elemental effects affect you, so like you can't step in any of the fire, and like the first thing they have you do is like do these like explosion pods, and there's just like fucking fire everywhere, and I'm just like taking damage nonstop. Even with the ice, like I think like it slows you if you get caught in the
So the ice can damage you. Yeah, I
yeah, the
didn't
ice
like
can
that I could
damage
get
you.
damage. Although what you could do, which was cool, is you could put the fire out with the ice.
Yes, you could do that, which was cool. But then I just the
I
reviews.
I was a little like put off, but when I got hurt by my eyes, I was like,
Yeah.
hmm.
But yeah, I basically all the reviews kind of spoke to like that element of it just becoming even more kind of prevalent.
Yeah.
It's that thing of like, yeah, Avowed is launching tomorrow in early access if you have the premium edition, and I've been very excited for that one. So I'm gonna jump into
It
that.
looks really good. I'm gonna play that. What do you think the length of that game will be?
It's short.
Oh, how short?
Yeah.
Under 30.
So I know our reviewer did it in 30.
Okay.
And that was with additional stuff. It's meant to
Okay.
be way more digestible. I think you can probably mainline the campaign in like maybe 20 hours probably. Yeah, so excited for that one. Wish I had played it before recording this, but I guess we'll all chat next week about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was really just been a lot more Path of Exile 2 with Brooke. I think we're coming near to the end of the like campaign that they have in the early access. So I've been enjoying that. And yeah, honestly, I've been champing at the bit for Avowed, and so I'm like, what do I have that can like scratch this itch? And I jump back into some Baldur's Gate 3 just to like have a little RPG hit before this. And God, what a fucking video game that is. That's one of the best video games ever, I think. Just I can't believe the shit that I still have left to fucking like uncover in that game. Like I uncovered a whole portion of the map like I was not aware of just by wandering in one direction. I was like, oh my God, there's all this content here that I completely miss. And like I just forgot how much every decision feels like it really matters, and like how does this narrative divert based on, oh, what if this happened in this encounter? Like it's crazy to think about. So excellent game, but yeah, just kind of playing it to prep me for some Avowed.
Hell yeah. I played some more Downhill Ski Riders.
Very nice.
Snow Riders. Dude, it's really, you should check it out. Just download it the next time you have like, I don't know, 20 minutes. It's a lot more fun than the bike.
And the biking one.
It's because the bike one was so much more unforgiving, and by the nature of skiing and sliding, it's that you don't have the issue of traction that you did before. You certainly can land with too much momentum into like some kind of a turn and then flip, but you're much more likely to maintain your momentum and your movement. I'm enjoying playing this in a way that I never did with the original. And I liked the original, but I couldn't get good enough at it to get far into it. Whereas now I've actually made it through quite a few of the slopes and a couple different mountains. And also, the snow is beautiful. It's like it looks like glitter. Do you know what I mean? Like it's got that like fresh snow, like it just snowed in the morning, it's early in the morning, so it's a little wet and everything's sparkly. It looks great, and it's so much more satisfying, I think, to ski down these hills than it ever was to ride a bike down them. It's awesome. I actually keep thinking about how great this game would be in VR, to just, if they could just get rid of the borders of the screen and let me see the mountain almost like a diorama, and the mountain the mountain could move up like an other, but I'm sure they'd have to work out, but that would be immense. What a game that would be, Tom.
What a game.
What a game that would be.
That.
Because it looks like a toy. Like it looks like, like a toy you want to, so it's a good time. I think that will be a fun thing for you to just give it a look see. When you got a little time.
See.
It's you're like, I'm too high to play a game. Like, for real, just, hit the slopes.
I love that.
It's free on Game Pass, so you can't beat that. I am interested in Civ, but I'm gonna wait now because they announced it coming to Quest, and that looks fucking sick in VR.
Yeah, that looks sick. Also, I think that a lot of the wording around that game is that it is underbaked and that it needed more time.
Sure.
And so I just think there's just a ton of these games now that are coming out, man, that I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. Like Stalker 2.
That's video games now. Yep.
It's crazy. Like that, everything that people talk about with that Stalker game, I'm like, that sounds right up my alley. I will play it in 2 years from now. So that is one of them. The other one is this Kingdom Come Deliverance. Although that's cool. That's more of just like, I just don't have space in my life for this right now.
I thought about doing it, but then Avowed's coming out, so I'm like, I'm not playing those things at the same time.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And this one is like 120-hour RPG.
Yeah, and Split Fiction's coming out in 3 weeks, which is why I asked. Like, if you had said Avowed's like 40 hours, I might have been like, I will actually start that next month, because the last thing I'm not good at starting a game and picking it back up. Like if I stop playing a game, I'm probably never going
never
back
gonna pick it. Yeah, I know. I understand that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it feels good, honestly, to say no to a game and just know that it's there, and like I can come back to it if I want it. But it's a thing. You gotta let some things go. Maybe I will never play Stalker 2.
It's not a bad thing to be spoiled for choice, Tom.
No,
it's really not.
You could have worse things happening in the world.
Yeah.
But speaking of games that are playable in the future,
you want to talk about news?
Let's do some news.
I do want to just say real quick, and I recently got the
you got a little something. There you go.
So I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I got the main completionist achievement on Balatro now on my iPad, which I'd already cleared. I had gotten completionist plus on the
completionist plus
Swiss, and then there's completionist plus, which is fucking nuts. I'd done completionist plus on the Switch. I'm thinking about maybe just continuing to play forever and actually go for completionist plus, which it's like, well, why wouldn't you? The truth of the matter is, it's such a difficult, insane thing to go for that, like, when I open the game, I kind of just want to keep playing. But like, man, the challenges are so fun in that game. Getting completionist plus alone is so hard because you have to get gold stake on every deck, which is like the highest stake. But now that I've done it with at least one deck, and I'm actually going deck by deck, and instead of like going up through gold, I'm moving from one deck to the next, and I'm just doing like each stake at a time, and I'm finding that to be a lot more fun. Just what a great game. And the other game that I keep playing, but I need to tell myself to stop, is I keep playing Blueprints. I played
Oh,
it
the
a few
demo.
more times, and
Yeah.
I kind of want to stop playing it because I know the real game is coming. But boy, is that a fun fucking game, Tom. That is
Yeah,
a
I
really
heard.
fun game. You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a good time.
it looks really cool. I think I have it drafted, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
For thing. But speaking of games.
Speaking of games, here's some news for you, Tom.
Yeah, let's get it.
So, according to Matt Piscatella, the PlayStation 6 may be not a console, but a Switch-like handheld end console. He actually believes that what we might see is not two separate devices
But
of a
single
PlayStation
device.
console and a PlayStation handheld. We might see a singular Switch-like device. Thoughts?
That's a crazy. Where did you get that from?
I watched a YouTube video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I watched a YouTube video.
Yeah, I haven't brought it up on the show just because like we have so much other shit that we talk about. But if you're out there, that's the thing is like if you probably already follow me on social media and stuff. Like I know a bunch of people who are listening to this already know about it. But I've been doing this interview show. It's turning into like a seasonal thing just because it's hard to get the guests I want to get and like do it in a timely fashion and all this. But yeah, had a chat with Matt. He's a gaming industry analyst for Sakana, who basically is a consultation group that works with publishers to basically, he has all the data and he'll go to them and say like, your game will probably sell this many copies if you price it at this, and you should do a sale at this time, and like all that. It's a crazy job. But yeah, we were chatting about like the future of the industry, and he thinks that there is a potential that not only is there a potential that we will get more handheld consoles. That seems like a foregone conclusion from Sony and Microsoft right at this point, but that there's even a potential that the next PlayStation could be an all-in-one device, maybe even the next Xbox, who knows. But I don't necessarily agree with him. I don't think that that is going to happen. I think it will be a standalone product. Clearly Sony is fine with making multiple different SKUs and having all these different like products on the board, considering all of the different.
Gotta spend money to make money.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how that works. But I do think that it's an interesting thing that he thinks about, that the handheld market is such a, as he describes later on in the show, he's like, that's where the growth is. And the industry is desperate for growth.
Yeah.
And the one of the few things that has really changed habits is PC gaming in general is growing, but it does have something to do with these handheld devices. And so the fact that that is such a palpable thing, that maybe even someone who has all this knowledge thinks that there is a potential that they could go that route, is kind of a crazy thing to think about. But
I'm actually kind of on board with this. I think the power race for the consoles, and I don't get me wrong, I love a big beefy boy, right? I like a big console, but it's also bloated all the games, all these AAA games that gotta look amazing. And it's like, boy, what a gift it would be to the gaming industry for the next PlayStation to actually like not really be more powerful than a PlayStation 5 in many ways.
I mean, it will be like that. We did talk about like the fact that, the Switch will be much closer to this generation. The Switch 2 will be, because it's been more and more diminishing returns on graphical improvements over the years. That being said, though, I think that there's a world in which maybe this is, if they were smart, they could do something where it's like, hey, it is just a handheld, but when you dock it, not only do you get a little bit more, the
You get
dock
more juice. Yeah.
is in more juice, but they could do something where it's like, and we're going to supplement you. We're going to do some kind of technology thing with the PSSR, and we're going to make it
Frame
so
generation.
well, not only frame generation, but they can have back end, like they could have graphics stream in, right, from
Sure. I mean, now we sound like Microsoft with Crackdown, which we haven't really seen that
but
work yet.
but that was nearly a decade ago at this
Yeah,
point.
but still, I think most people still don't have the internet to make that work.
It's optional.
I think we'd more likely see a dock that has like an eGPU built in or something. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like that almost seems more likely to me. It's like, hey, you want the more powerful like home console
I'm
version?
thinking
You
that
buy
they
the
could sell
console
that,
dock.
but
It's like $200.
it would just also be another way to sell PS Plus, and another
Sure.
thing and like, if they want to grow PS Plus subscribers, like, and say like, hey, you have this handheld, and when it's docked, if you've got you don't need a crazy internet connection, especially if it's like a hybrid system where there's local graphics happening and remote graphics happening.
Well, don't you? I feel like you do if you have the hybrid system, because you need the internet to be able to match the local, versus like
Right.
if it's all just streaming in, it doesn't even matter what's on the
Just a
device.
video
But then you're
feed,
just
right?
talking about GeForce Now,
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is like there's a million different questions
right?
and features
Which like
and
that
all of this.
that makes sense if it's just a handheld and a console, but like you can do GeForce Now style streaming at home, like when you dock it or whatever, like that makes
Right.
sense, because you don't need 4K on the handheld because you're not looking at that, right? You don't need, so like that
Yeah, I mean,
makes more sense to me than an assist. I feel like a local assist is weird Microsoft nonsense that never happened.
well, they did make that deal with Microsoft. So yeah, who knows? I don't think the PlayStation 6 will be a handheld personally, but the fact that he thinks it could be, just, I think, speaks to how much potential there is in that market. But yeah, go check it out. It's if you go to youtube.com/limit break net, at limit break net, it's called Hit the Limit Break. The podcast is just a bi-weekly interview show. A couple of other guests I've had on there, but Matt and I have a really good conversation there.
Yeah, it was great. I watched it on YouTube today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a good time. State of Play, Sony, PlayStation, State of Play. A lot of great games. I mean, Tom, some of these games absolutely, like their announcement trailers, fucking blew me away. Absolutely fucking blew me away. Let's talk about the games that we know about first, that like were already announced, like that are worth talking about, right? Like any Blueprints, they announced for PS5, which is great. I'm actually very excited about that because I was concerned. I was talking, so when you weren't here, the week you missed, I was talking to Alex about that game and saying, I feel like that game and Locator, because Alex doesn't have, PC, I was like, this is going to be like Inscription. Like I'm going to have to set up like my computer so Alex can like stream into it and play like remotely. So now he'll be able to just play it on PlayStation. I think that trailer was a really good way to show off what that game is. I'm very excited.
It was a good
trailer.
There. Yep, it was a good trailer.
Borderlands 4. Boy, did that trailer not get me excited at all.
It just looks like more Borderlands. I don't understand how Randy Pitchford still like is the person that they're putting on camera for this. I don't understand how we can be like fucking hacking and slashing away at DEI programs while there are two people named Randy that work at fucking Gearbox. Did you see the beyond the trailer? Like, did you see the presentation part of it?
No.
Okay, so they have Randy Pitchford, right?
Okay.
Present this Borderlands 4, like
the amazing Randy.
before and after the trailer, he came on and did a bit, but he did it with another person that also works at Gearbox, who's also called Randy. So I think instead of fucking cutting DEI programs, we should create a law that prevents two Randys being hired at the same place, because that is absolutely fucking ridiculous, especially when one of those is Randy fucking Pitchford. Yeah, this just looks like more Borderlands. I mean, will it sell well? I don't know. Like, I don't know how Borderlands. How many fucking copies did Borderlands 3? I feel like no one is excited for this game.
I feel like the majority of people that bought Borderlands 3 might buy this game. I liked Borderlands, but this did nothing for me.
Yeah.
That's ultimately
Damn,
like
22 million. Okay.
No.
Damn. Okay. Borderlands 3 sold a shit ton of copies, so this game will sell. I don't know if it'll exceed it though. Because I do think that it was one of those things that people really wanted Borderlands 3 because 2 was what it was.
Yeah, and then they came out with it like a decade later.
Yeah, and I mean it sold
They
a bunch,
basically
but
missed
like I
the
don't.
entire generation. You know, like it was.
Right.
It was the fucking biggest thing at the end of the 360, right? It was a huge game, and then they
Yeah.
just skipped that last generation. It's essentially like it's crazy. It's crazy.
But it's still sold.
Yeah.
But I do think that by the time when that came out, like no one was championing the bit for 4 like they were for 3. And
Yeah.
on top of that, you have a pretty widely derided film that came out that did not do well, and people vehemently do not like the ones that did watch it. So I think
one of the worst
brand,
movies I've ever seen.
I think the brand is hurt quite a bit, and I don't think 4 will be. I think they're hoping to replicate that success, and I don't think they will. Yeah, and this trailer did nothing for me, but who knows? We'll see. Maybe people. All we need now is GTA to announce it's coming out like in September.
So Rockstar launched a Discord today.
I saw.
The road to GTA has begun. This is the beginning of their marketing campaign. Tom, could you imagine being the mod on a Rockstar Discord?
Yeah. That would be insanity. I don't envy that person.
I hope that they're able to quickly update jokes in that game, because nothing that they wrote prior to this year is going to be as insane as the things that will happen from the beginning of this year to that game coming out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good luck, Rockstar. Honestly, the best thing they could do is just play it straight with this game. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Just play it straight. Just
that's hilarious.
Show Florida for what it is, and be less silly, and it will be funnier in a way. I think it's coming. I think we're really getting it. I really think we're getting a Switch and GTA this year, which is just
I think they're both happening.
Madness. Amazing.
The Switch is definitely happening. I mean, that is happening.
Yeah.
There's no way that is not happening.
Yeah. It's true.
What else? What are the games?
Other games that we knew about, Metal Gear Solid. No, do we know about MGS4?
No, it's MGS3 Delta. It's
okay,
MGS
you wrote 4.
Delta. Oh, sorry, I meant Delta Snake Eater. So this is
I thought it was Snake Eater, and then when you wrote 4, I was like, oh, I guess I missed that, and I didn't go back into the trailer.
No, we got a new trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3. And I think they also announced the release date. I think it's August 28th.
Yeah.
So we are going to get that game. It is a faithful remake. It is the original game, just in Unreal 5. And that is exciting. That's cool.
We got the Split Fiction story trailer. That looked great. Very excited.
I just don't need to
fucking
see
awesome.
anything more. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it happened.
I mean, I watched it just for the hype, you know?
Yeah. It's a good trailer, but it's just like, I'm already up here for that. You know what I mean? Like, so, yep. Cool.
Hell yeah. Was there anything else? There's some stuff that I didn't list because it didn't matter to me. like that Sonic game that I'm not gonna
Yeah, the
play.
Sonic game, I'm not particularly interested. Yeah, the
I'm not
Blueprints trailer
playing
was really
Monster Hunter
good.
Wilds, even though it looks
That
cool.
Shinobi Art of Vengeance game looks fantastic.
Okay, now that
Um,
that was new, right? I think that was an announcement
no,
trailer.
it
Yeah, no,
got
announcement.
this was the so this is what happened.
Okay,
For
talk to me.
years, there were rumors of what people were calling a Sega Super game,
Sega.
and people didn't really know what it meant. And
Mhm.
last year, I think at SGF, they showed off a trailer, and it was basically like, we are remaking and bringing back all of our franchises. There's going to be a
Okay.
new Crazy Taxi. There's a new Jet Set
Yeah.
Radio. There's a new, and this game was they showed it briefly in that trailer that showed off all of the different projects. So
Okay.
this is the first, like, this is the game trailer that we're getting and reveal, but we did know it was coming from that Sega thing.
Okay.
But this looks fantastic.
Looks amazing.
I think this comes out in March, or
Oozes style.
yeah, it looks
Oozes.
really good. It looks like it's going to be, this year's Lost Crown potentially.
Yep.
And hopefully it
Yep.
lives up to that.
Man, if I could get just, there's so many of them, but if I could get one like elite level Metroidvania per year.
Who knows? Maybe Song will come out this year too.
I certainly hope so. I did draft it.
There's Saros, which is Housemarque's new game.
I mean, is this related to Returnal? Because I swear that spacesuit looks just like the fucking spacesuit in Returnal.
So I think what they're going to reveal is that this is a connected thing.
Yeah,
and that
spiritual successor.
It's a spiritual successor, but it's going to be revealed that it's in the same universe or something like that, and they're building out something. And maybe they'll do, because they were known for like their twin stick shooters. They could put out like a small thing after that again. I don't know what they want to do with it, but I think that's what it's going to be revealed, because it looks too much like Returnal to not be Returnal, as people have been calling it. So who knows? But I think that's what they'll do, is that it'll be a twist that it is.
Well, here's what if I had to guess, here's what the twist is. The twist is that it's the biggest problem I think a lot of people had for Returnal, which also caused me to bounce off of it a little bit till they put out an update for the checkpoints. Also, because there was like a crashing bug too. It's a really tough game, and it's pretty long, and like you can't really make progress. It's completely run based. Whereas like even in games like Hades, you're kind of making you're unlocking things to like kind of best yourself for the future. Whereas with Returnal, you're back at zero every time. In this one, he said, like, I get stronger every time. So I think that this time around, a little Groundhog's Day, you're going to be able to upgrade. Like, you're going to actually like either retain gear or information or something, so that every time you come back, you're not going to lose all progress in a way. You're probably not going to get like full checkpoints where you're going to continue on, but my guess is there's going to be some level of gear or kit that you'll be able to retain, so that like as you keep doing it over and over, you just start blowing through the earlier areas. Like that's why I think they had that line, was like that's going to be the differentiator, is you are going to start out like an absolute little fuck. You're going to get just like squashed left and right, but you're just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger each time, until very like Groundhog's Day, like you eventually, you're going to be like Loki, like you're just going to do the fucking universe like a million times until like you're able to.
You're just like walking cakewalk through
right,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. That would be my guess, and that's why they had that kind of cheesy line. At least I hope so, because that's the one thing that I would actually like to see different from Returnal, is I kind of wish there was a system to kind of help you progress farther, so that I felt like when I failed on a run, even though I did great, I at least like was making some progress, even if I had to start over, so that would be my guess. But that's next year, so I'm sure we'll find out more.
Yeah, exciting look at that. There's the Midnight Walk, which is that claymation game described as a
Oh
cozy horror
yeah,
game. This is from the
cozy
people.
horror. It's for
Yeah,
goths.
this one is PS5 and PSVR, so you can play the whole thing in VR,
Oh,
which is
shut
really
the
cool.
fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
gonna play it.
May 6th is when it comes out. Looks
Oh, May
really
6th.
cool. May 6th. The Hell Is Us game continues to look cool. This is the one with like the guy with the drone. Kind of looks a little bit like Death
Oh, I
Stranding.
thought that looked fucking cool.
Yeah,
His
we've seen
sword
it.
was like lit up when he pulled it out too.
Yeah, this
Ooh,
was shown
Tom.
off at an event last year. I forget, it might have been SGF. This is, or it might have been in a previous state of play, to be honest. This game is interesting because the people that it's like ex devs from, I forget where they're from, but they describe the game as like there are no, I'm paraphrasing, but essentially they made it sound like there are no waypoints. There are no objective markers. This game is all about like you have to listen to what people are telling you and you have to like
Okay,
figure it out yourself and like
cool.
I don't know necessarily how that's going to play out, but if it works, this could be a really cool game. Comes
Cool.
out September 4th. Yeah, looks really cool. Definitely like maybe tide you over till Naughty Dog's game comes out because of that lightsaber sword thing. Because that one also had one. Lies of P is getting DLC. It's like this winter DLC, which has looked really cool. This is obviously the Souls-like game that people really like. That's not from Software. It's called Overture, and it will be out sometime this summer. And then I think the last game that is worth. Oh no, I think those are all of my highlights.
Are you kidding?
Which one?
Metal Eden?
Oh, the Metal Eden
Bro.
one. Yeah, look, I think my
Bro.
problem with the Metal Eden trailer is that by the time I saw that, I had seen a bunch of other games that looked like that, like right before it. You
Nothing
know what I
looked
mean?
like that game.
I
Nothing looked
don't know.
like that game. What looked like that game? Dude,
I don't.
that game looked I expected them while that video was going. I was thinking it was Marathon. Like that, the
I
style,
thought
the
it.
shooting, the
I thought
visuals. I was like,
for
this
a.
looks like a Bungie game.
I thought that there was a chance it was Marathon as well initially.
Oh man. Beautiful. Love the style. The shooting looks good. The momentum looks good. That looked fucking kick ass. That look and who's making that game?
I'm not exactly sure. A lot of these developers I wasn't familiar with. Let's see. Metal Eden. Okay. Raycon Games. It's coming out May 6th. Oh wait, is this coming out May 6th as well? What
Wow.
else was coming out May 6th? What else did we say? Oh, I think Midnight Walk is also coming out.
They made
Same
some game
day.
called Ruiner, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
that game looked
Ruiner.
cool.
Okay.
Game looked cool as fuck. Metal
Interesting.
Eden. I couldn't believe like that game fucking has like that is a me game. Like that is my shit. 100%. I got fucking hyped from that video. I'm very excited about that game. Just from a visual standpoint, at least. There were so many things for me to be excited about. I mean, mechs, good design, great color, shooting looked tight, a lot of momentum based shoot. Like, oh, it's got everything. I talk about everything I want. Hopefully it plays well. Guess we'll find out more. But
Yeah.
I love games getting announced and being out within 6 months. Good shit.
Yes,
shit.
a lot of this stuff, yes, is coming out very soon.
All right. Well, I think we should want to do a little listener mail and then we'll get on out.
Right. Yeah, let's do it.
Email a podcast, email at unrankedpodcast.com. Just go to the show notes, click on the link for the Discord. go to questions for the pod or call into 805-738-8692. I haven't actually checked that. I should check that. Spiffy said, what's the better cracker, Ritz or Townhouse?
Ooh.
Quite a few people asked, what the hell are Townhouse?
I'm familiar. I'm
familiar with this box. I've definitely had them.
You know, also throw the club cracker in the mix here.
Here's my question.
Yeah. Fuck, I want some
For what?
crackers right now.
For what?
What do you mean for what?
What are you doing with the cracker?
Putting some cheese on it.
Yeah, what kind?
At
Like
the very
this
least.
is like, I guess if we're comparing it to like this style of cracker, right?
I think if you're just eating the cracker, I think the Ritz wins.
Sure. But if we're talking about like these look like very similar crackers though. The Townhouse looks like it's probably a better like real cracker, whereas like the Ritz kind of crumbles. But I don't know.
Ritz is more meant to be something that you just eat.
Okay.
And then the Townhouse is meant to be more of a thing that like you add things to. Look, I love crackers. I think that I'm just starting to think of the other uses of the word cracker.
Yeah,
right
Tom
now.
loves crackers. He hates DEI.
Crackers. Yeah, big time. I'm gonna change my name to Randy.
These aren't. So like typically I would get something like a Ritz, or I might even have had the Townhouse or similar. Like if I want like your basic cracker, but these aren't the kind of crackers I get for cheese. Typically, I typically get a little bit more variety in my crackers for cheese. A little bit more substantial. Sometimes have more flavor in them. But I guess if you just want like a simple bite with like cheddar, I would go with Ritz because I'm more familiar with it. You seem to be a Townhouse boy.
I can't hate on any of them. I think I'm gonna go with Ritz because it is just like it is the cracker itself. I think that's the question, and I think the answer is Ritz.
So for me, the typical cracker of this shape that I would get the multigrain crackers from Trader Joe's. I get the wheat crisp crackers, but my favorite are the fig and olive crackers from Trader Joe's. Tom, are you familiar?
The fig and olive. No, I mean, what's the one? Are the ones from Trader Joe's the ones that are like really crunchy and they have like little cranberry bits?
Yeah,
in
look.
them?
I just sent it to you. Look at it. Fig and olive crisps. I know you've had these because when you were here with your fiance, this is what we use. This to me is the cracker. If you're gonna have cracker with cheese, this is the cracker. Oh,
they're phenomenal.
It's killing me now that I can't go eat these because we have them upstairs. We have the Boursin cheese, which is unbelievable for this. I would love to go have that, but I can't. I can't have any of these for months. It's gonna be months before I can have these again. It's bullshit, Tom. That to me, that is the cracker. But I think we're talking about like a bog standard cracker. I'm a Ritz guy. Haven't had a Townhouse. At least if I have, I'm not familiar enough with it to speak positively. So, there. Big Boss Nasty asks, concerning the recent Pokemon, what Gen 1 Pokemon would you most like to see get an evolution or pre-evolution that has not yet received one? That's difficult now. I have to kind of pull up the list because a lot of them have. In the past, I would have said Farfetch'd, you know? Has Pinsir gotten any upgrades?
He must have, right? Did he get a mega? Yeah, there's a mega. That's the thing, is like some of these have megas now. Like, I don't think any of these have non-mega form. Like, they either have a mega form or an evolution.
Because what we have gotten
Tauros got an evolution, or it got
Tauros didn't get an evolution. It got So like,
and then there's Bouffalante or whatever. I thought maybe that was an evolution.
You know what? Lapras.
Yo, that's a great answer. That's a great Is there a mega?
It definitely needs a pre-evolution also, though. And I'm not a pre-evolution guy, but I think Lapras deserves a pre-evolution because that's a big Pokemon, and it doesn't come out of an egg like that.
You could do something like that.
She's a big girl. She's not coming out of an egg like that. You know, she needs room to grow. I think Lapras would probably be my number one. Aerodactyl and Kangaskhan. Boom. Lapras, Aerodactyl, Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan should have a pre-evolution. The little guy in the pouch.
Just the little guy. Right.
I also want to throw this one out there for you, Tom.
Lapras is real cool. Uh-huh.
There's a Pokemon. There's actually a few Pokemon in Gen 1 that are, you know, like 1 or 2 stages that I think their base stage is good enough to have been like a starter, but it doesn't have the evolution tiers that it needs to be competitive and to have that. Like Meowth is starter coded, but it doesn't, you know, it only has a single evolution. So Persian evolution could be cool, but Sandshrew. I think out of all the Pokemon that are starter coded, Sandshrew to Sandslash, imagine if Sandslash had a third. You'd have it'd be like equivalent to a ground type. Sandshrew is adorable,
so sick.
Very starter coded in like height, design, size, shape, stats. It just needs that third tier. That would be a great one.
I like that. I like that answer.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us this week. Go check out the Limit Break Network. Go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. Thanks for joining us on the Unranked podcast. Alex should be back next week. That's the hope. We've got, you know, more podcasts coming your way. There's a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff going on. Probably be talking about Avowed next week, I would imagine.
Avowed,
you know?
cast.
Oh, man. Walkabout mini golf, that mini mode. But I'll talk about that with Tuna next week because it'll be more fun. We've had a great time with it. Till then, stay unranked.
Suck it.